Urgent news. Just in. The Chicago Cubs have made a shocking decision on Jameson Talon, and this move could be the first major sign that the front office is ready to completely change the team's direction ahead of the trade deadline. I'm about to tell you everything, but first, leave a like because here you get all the latest on the boys in blue. After a string of disappointing performances and a season that has fallen well below expectations, Talon has officially been designated for assignment by the Chicago Cubs. Yes, Cubby, the organization has finally made a drastic move, and now the veteran's future looks to be far away from Chicago. The decision represents an extremely important moment for a team that boasts one of the most dangerous offenses in Major League Baseball and has ambitions that go far beyond simply putting together a competitive season. The Cubs want to make the playoffs. The Cubs want to play in October. And, most importantly, the Cubs want a genuine chance to compete for the World Series. To do that, there is no room to keep relying on a player who was no longer providing the necessary stability in the rotation. Talon's performance had become one of the team's biggest problems. In a season where every single game can make a difference in the playoff race, Chicago simply could not keep taking the field with the feeling that 1 out of every 5 rotation starts was putting them at a disadvantage from the very beginning. After all, it doesn't matter how explosive your offense can be if the team cannot get a consistent performance from its starting pitcher. And that is exactly what made Talon's situation so complicated. Sunday's loss in Pittsburgh served as yet another warning sign for the organization. While the Cubs' offense desperately tried to fight back after falling behind 7-1 in the third inning, the team had to deal with another outing from its starter that failed to put Chicago in a comfortable position to win. The Cubs showed their offensive firepower and nearly produced an incredible comeback, but by then the damage had already been done. Now, however, the story has changed. Instead of simply wondering whether Jameson Talon would make his next start, the Cubs made a much stronger decision. They designated him for assignment. That means Chicago has officially opened up a spot to move in a different direction. And for a team fighting for a playoff spot, this decision can be seen as a clear message to the rest of MLB. The Cubs are not willing to sit still while their biggest competitors continue to strengthen. The organization recognized in practice that it needed to find a solution. And perhaps this is only the first part of something much bigger. Talon's departure puts even more pressure on the Cubs front office to pursue reinforcements on the market. The team cannot simply remove a piece from the rotation and assume that every problem will suddenly disappear. If Chicago truly believes it has a roster capable of competing for the World Series, now is the time to be aggressive. And it is precisely in this situation that the rumors surrounding big-name players become even more important. Among the players linked to the Cubs is Tarik Skubal, a name that represents exactly the kind of reinforcement capable of completely changing the level of the rotation. Obviously, a trade of that magnitude would not be simple and would depend on a number of factors, but Chicago's need became even more obvious after the decision involving Talon. The Cubs have a strong offense. They have players capable of deciding games. They have a fan base that is once again believing that October could hold something special. But a team that wants to compete for a World Series needs to trust its rotation, especially when the biggest games of the season arrive. And that confidence simply wasn't there anymore with Talon. Last season, Chicago was able to find moments when the veteran looked capable of contributing. But the situation is different now. The season has moved forward, the playoffs are getting closer, and the margin for error is rapidly shrinking. The front office needs to look ahead instead of continuing to bet on the past. That is why the Jameson Talon DFA could represent much more than simply the departure of one player. It could be the beginning of a transformation. The question now is, who will be next? Or more importantly, who will be the next player to arrive and fill that spot? Because if the Chicago Cubs are truly willing to make such a drastic decision with Talon, fans have every right to expect the organization to be prepared to make significant moves at the trade deadline as well. It's not enough to simply say that the team is competitive. It's not enough to have one of the best offenses in MLB. If the front office believes this is a genuine opportunity to compete for a championship, then it needs to finish the job. And perhaps the move involving Talon is exactly the sign Cubs fans have been waiting for. The Cubs have finally acknowledged that there was a problem in the rotation. Now, the responsibility is in the hands of the front office to find the solution. Cubby, the Jameson Talon era in Chicago may officially be coming to an end, but the real story could only just be beginning. The decision to designate him for assignment opens up a roster spot, increases the pressure, and puts the Cubs in front of a massive choice. Stick with internal solutions or go all in on the market in search of an arm capable of turning this team into a legitimate World Series contender. And if the name Tarik Skubal really is among the possible targets, get ready because the next big bombshell could be on the way. Cubs fans have already shown that they believe in this team. Now it's time for the front office to show that it believes too. Jameson Talon is out of the immediate plans. The Cubs have made their decision. And from this point forward, all eyes will be on Chicago's next move. So, Cubs fans, I want to know what you think. Was designating Talon for assignment the right decision? And do you think Chicago needs to make a major addition to the rotation before the trade deadline? If Tarik Skubal is truly available, Would you do whatever it takes to bring him to Wrigley Field? Yes or no? Don't leave without sharing your opinion. Your participation helps make every discussion even more interesting. And while you're here, make sure you subscribe to stay up to date with all the latest Chicago Cubs news.